Hello everybody. Today I thought it would be kind of interesting, kind of fun to do a face full of makeup for when you want to look better than you feel. It's cold and flu season, regardless of COVID, right? Like people are getting rhinovirus, which is, usually linked to the common cold. You could get seasonal other crud, right? So there is like the physical stuff that's going around, but I'm using the Becca anti-fatigue under eye primer. I might as well just start doing this while I'm talking to you. My thought was it's not only just physical, but sometimes this time of year, around Christmas time, around the beginning of the year, there's a lot of like emotional, say mental illness. For lack of a better term, because I'm ignorant, I don't know what else to call it, I would say that, people just get blue. And so whether or not you want to not project it on a Zoom call, or you're, don't want to invite a lot of questions into how are you doing, how are you feeling, or wow, you look really tired, or are you feeling okay? All those types of questions that come up. I figured it'd be about time to do a video of what I put on when I want to look like I feel a little bit better than I actually do. I'm actually going to use, speaking of Becca, I'm going to use the Becca, this is their brightening primer. I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't tell you what exactly it is, but I've used it a lot before. I'm actually going to put it on my eyelids because it's a little emollient. Because it has this like moisturizing property, I think it works really good as a base layer for ladies of a certain age. And obviously you can tell it's very brightening as well. So I'm putting it on first, giving it a little chance to soak in a little bit. The only thing I can caution about this is you really want to use kind of a tapping motion, not a swiping motion, when you apply eyeshadow, because otherwise it could potentially get a little streaky. Now, the other way to combat that is to just put down a layer of powder. Now I did put on moisturizer, but I'm gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs. This is their coconut primer. Some people don't really do well with coconut primers. I actually don't have a problem with it. It's not caused me to break out. So it is very moisturizing, and it seems like when I'm taking cold medicine, which I'm not today, I'm still a little stuffy, but I'm not today. But when I take cold medicine, I feel like my face really dries out. My skin gets uber ultra dry. It could be because I forget to drink as much as I normally do. I do have my chlorophyll water that I'm back on. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna not look so sick here in a second. And I'm not super sick right now, just so you guys know. Not that, you can catch my cold from the camera, because you can't. Okay, I'm gonna use the Marc Jacobs Remarkable foundation. This is in shade Beige Taupe. I think this is, not too bad of a color match for me. Most of my summer color, my little trip, gone. I'm gonna actually kind of go old school here. Not that it's that old. I'm gonna use the Tati Beauty Blend-A-Fold to kind of buff this out. But I don't think the shade is too bad. It kind of covers some of the redness. Kind of tones it down. I mean, this shade seems to be pretty cool toned or pretty neutral toned. Maybe someday, they'll open it up again and we can actually get color matched again, because I think it's good to do. It's like bra fittings, you should do that every now and then, right? Double check. Not just seasonal, but I think age, you get a little color change as well. I do really like the way this foundation covers my skin. Oh my gosh, it looks ridiculous on my lips. I probably only needed a couple drops, and I ended up using a few more than that. This wipes. It's got that weird applicator. It's not really a dropper. It's on, so we've got a good start. Okay, I'm going to use the Natasha Denona Blush Duo. This is actually, I think this one is Antique Nude and Renee's Pastel Pink. I like these colors, actually. I've had no issues with it. Sometimes, the Natasha Denona blushes, I don't know that they really work for me, because she does have such a glowy look about a lot of her makeup looks. And ladies of a certain age with texture, sometimes it doesn't always work out. But this Antique Nude shade is kind of my version of a blush bronzer contour, like all in one. So I'm starting it kind of like above where that line is, because I want it to do my cheekbones and not necessarily, some people do their contouring right in the hollow. And I get that, like I understand why you would want to. For me, personal preference, I just try to blush just a little higher. I think this is a Morphe 448. It always makes me want to swirl. I don't know why. Some just different shapes of brushes make me want to use different things. So I'm like trying to go back in and, swipe one direction, tap, whatever, and then I find myself swirling. For fun, I'm going to go into the pink shade, and I like to put it just at the top of where I've been putting that. Contouring different shade of blush. I know it seems strange to layer blush shades. I don't know when I started like deciding that I needed to do that, but I don't think you need to. I just do. But I like that color combination. Might be a little too washed out on this side. I've got one of my box lights on because I was feeling like some of my videos I was getting a little dark. Not like I'm getting dark, but like it's looking a little dark, which is quite a bit different than me being like uber washed out when I realized my camera was on like this weird lighting setting. That was dumb of me. Again, hi, I'm Shelly. I am not a makeup artist. I'm also not a professional YouTuber. I do currently post 3 days a week, but I'm gonna do some change up, switch whatever here pretty soon. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a NYX nude lip liner just because it's nude, and you know, that was a kind of a dumb thing to say, wasn't it? Hey, it's nude, so, and boy, I need to sharpen it. All right, lip liner is on. Now, the reason why I'm doing, and I normally do, right? I normally do my lips first and then move up, but I'm gonna use the Too Faced Cool Girl Melted Matte. It's Melted Matte lipstick, but it's in the shade Cool Girl. My daughter turned me on this. I actually bought her one for Christmas because she likes this a lot. She's been buying a lot of car stuff lately, so I don't think she's buying too many like girly makeup-y things. I think it'll make a good little stocking stuffer. So I know it looks a little, I still look really washed out as a little, I'll fix this, but I want it to kind of dry down a little bit. Today, just because this is the one that I've been reaching for a lot lately, and this is the one that kind of makes me feel a little bit better, healthy about myself. This is the Alter Ego Sahara palette. It is supposedly a dupe for the Natasha Denona Biba palette. Now, I know it's currently out of stock on Alter Ego, and I apologize for that. I don't like using palettes that you can't get your hands on, but my feeling is that if it's out of stock, a lot of people have it. So if you don't have the original Biba palette, maybe you picked this one up because you're a little bit more budget conscious. I have no judgment at all. I bought this back before I was really spending the money on more higher end palettes. I mean, the Natasha Denona version of this, I think, is $129. That's just, a lot of people are never going to spend $129 unless like that's the one that you use. And I'm okay with that too. I think I'm going to start with this shade Savannah, which is kind of like almost like a rosewood shade. And that's going to be my transition shade slash starting into my crease. I know it may look like I'm swiping, but I'm actually more of kind of tapping it on, but I'm doing it in kind of like a dash movement, I guess, just because I have that Becca primer on. You know, you don't get as dry and crepey. Maybe you have oily eyelids and don't even need it, but I don't. I'm just dry. And I thought, it's so funny because over the summer, I thought, you know what? I've gotten away from being like super dry, and then of course, you know, the seasons change and it's full on December, and the next thing you know, I've got like patches of dry skin. So I did this morning after I worked out, after I showered, I did a couple like I did one moisturizing face mask, that Pharmacy Honey one. Love that mask. I did that one while I was kind of diffusing my hair a little bit, and then I did a little bit of that Elemis Superfoods mask because I wanted the like dose of vitamins and moisture and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to Adobe, which is the next one over in this row. Do the gradient thing even when I'm not feeling well. But if you're working from home, it's kind of hard to justify a sick day because, hey, you work from home, like you're already home. You have to be really sick to skip work, right? But if you're doing Zoom calls or GoToMeeting calls or anything where you've got the camera on, you don't necessarily need everybody to know that you're not feeling well. My work ethic is probably a little bit more of a nobody cares, work harder. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that really play that sympathy card. All right, I've got 2 shades on so far. We're starting to look a little bit more awake and alive. I'm gonna jump all the way over here to Fox, which is the last one in this row. And on the same brush, I'm just gonna stipple this on right above my lash line. And we're gonna go up just a little bit to where we've met that last darker shade. And of course we have those hooded eyes, so I gotta keep checking to see if I'm high enough. High enough in the eyeshadow, don't get all twisted. All right, I'm not so much worried about a harsh line in the middle because I am gonna diffuse it a little bit with another shade. We're just keeping this neutral color story, really the same color family. These are relatively warm shades that I've chosen for today. I'm like the queen of layering. Any long cardigan that looks slightly like a bathrobe, sign me up. We see something in a picture online and my husband's like, yep, that looks like you. A lot of you guys know I live in Washington State. I think we've been under 2 out of the 3 weeks. The day that I'm filming this, we've been 2 out of 3 weeks of a quarantine. I think we were supposed to go back to being able to eat in restaurants and so on and so forth on Monday. However, our COVID cases have like skyrocketed, and our governor just announced today that we're gonna go back to 3 more weeks of the same lockdowns that we've been doing that don't seem to be really working. And it's gonna be January 4th before he's gonna consider changing that. Now, the county that I live in, we never made it out of phase 1.5, and we had just slid under that 25 per 100,000. Now we're like at 1,100 per 100,000 now, the day that I'm filming this. Well, it was yesterday's reported numbers, but you get the point. Just about 1,100. Our hospitals are at max capacity. I haven't left my house in weeks, not planning on it. I think I'm gonna go with this bronze shade. It's slightly more warmer, golder than say this one. It seems like it's a little bit more pink. And I chose mostly everything in the same row, but I do want this bronze first, kind of right up here, covering up that seam. But I'm gonna do one more color too. This palette is so pretty. If you were fortunate enough to get it, or if you were really, really fortunate enough to get the original, you guys know what I mean. It's just it's a great everyday palette. Like I haven't done a bad look with it yet. In my opinion. You may look at this and go, hey, you don't know what you're doing, Chal, and that's fine too. We don't come to this channel because we're looking for like expert makeup advice or expert makeup application. We're just kind of figuring it out as we go, right? We're just ladies of a certain age that want to know, can the makeup work for us? We know it can work on the 20-something like uber popular YouTubers, but what about everybody else? Can it work with our lifestyles? And I'm just kind of blending out that a little bit. And really, honestly, this alter ego formula, I don't know how close this is to the original formula, but I can tell you that the alter ego formula itself really does blend well. I felt like I was traveling down a little bit, so I'm just smudging up, give my eyes a little bit more lift, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna go into this jewel shade right here, which is the shimmer in the same row that I've been working with today. I don't know why. I didn't intend to use all these shades from the same row. It just happens to be the one that I gravitated towards today. I like the lightness and brightness that this shadow gives you. However, if you're not someone who likes to do really bright shimmers on your eyelids, and I get that, you can still do an all matte look with this because you only have 3 shimmers in this palette. And I think kind of a smokier eye look with this is still super pretty. I just like a little lightness because I have these like, you know, close set hooded eyes, and we're looking pretty good with eyeshadow on the top right now, but I'm missing some stuff on the bottom, right? I haven't used Sierra yet. I'm gonna use this Sierra shade, which is the middle one in this row. Sorry you guys for sticking to the same row, but I'm gonna darken up the lash line a little bit, do kind of like my layered eyeliner look. So I'm somebody who did a lot of Zoom calls and GoToMeeting calls way before this whole pandemic-y thing hit. And my recommendations to people have always been, keep your background as calm as possible. I've seen people do like these crazy zigzag curtains and stuff, and it's just like, you get almost dizzy. And the same thing with on your body. You don't want to do like a whole bunch of crazy patterns because frankly, it's hard to see. It's hard for your camera to refocus on. I do find that if I wear glasses, I maybe put on just a little bit of liner or a little tiny bit of like bronzer and mascara and let the glasses kind of do the rest of the talking. Okay, I'm gonna put on some mascara. Speaking of mascara, I've got the Wander Beauty Mile High Club mascara right now. I'm gonna put on a couple coats of this and then I'll be right back. All right, you guys. Back with some mascara on. I do have a couple more things left to do. I'm gonna use the Jaclyn Hill Illuminating, what is this, Luminous powder? It's Jumi. I'm gonna use it as a face powder though because I think it gives the skin kind of just a nice little glow. I put the most of it like on the high points of my face Like when I dip into the powder, I start there and then I brush out from there. I'm gonna use a Natasha Denona. This is, I think, in the shade Powder. It's a lip gloss and gives those sort of cool girl lips a little dimension. How are we looking? Do we look as sick as we did earlier? I don't know. I think it looks better. I think I look healthier. I think I look like I've got better glow to my skin. I feel like I look like I have more energy, which is good because I've got a couple calls I've got to finish up today. Probably ought to go get on that. You guys, I hope you guys are feeling well. I hope that if you do come down with something, you know, obviously do the best you can to manage symptoms, but above all, get tested. Don't start feeling under the weather and then don't get tested for fear that you'll be positive. I know, I don't know about other states. I suspect they're close to the same, but I know in Washington state testing is free. Where I live, the county that I live, we call our local clinic. We let them know what our symptoms are. They decide whether or not we need to get the free drive-through testing. My son has been tested 4 times. He's been negative every single time. And so I'm super blessed about that. My only, I guess, recommendation is stock up on Dayquil, NyQuil, Theraflu, water, tissues, chicken noodle soup. Stock up on that stuff. Just have it ready to go just in case if you haven't already gotten sick. If you do get sick, 99+% of the population, you get through it. The head colds, the flus, or the mental blueness, I hope it doesn't affect you guys this holiday season. I know it's been a long haul and we just got to keep staying the course. So I've been here Monday, Wednesday, Friday throughout this entire year. I have not taken a break from filming or uploading videos, and I just want you guys to know that I'm here. I'm here. I'm constant. I'm not getting dragged up in the drama and all that kind of stuff. You guys are welcome to follow me over on Instagram at Sheli Tsunami. Feel free to DM me over there if you want to chit chat. I think it's interesting that about 75% or more of my viewers are actually not subscribers. And as soon as I get to 250, I'm going to do a giveaway. I do appreciate when you take the time to actually click the little subscribe link. Even if you don't watch all my videos, subscribing means a lot to me. When I lose a subscriber, it means a lot to me. Start questioning everything and beating myself up over it. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in another video. All right, you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are feeling well. I suspect if you're watching this video, it's either because you're a subscriber and you just want to know what I'm up to, or you're somebody who found it because you're not feeling very well and you want to actually put on some makeup and try to look better than you actually feel. All right, you guys. Until my next video. Bye for now.